Welcome to the Akron Public Schools Special Education. We put the I in IEP overview. This presentation is tied to District Focus Area 1, Rigorous Teaching and Learning. Participants will identify the following: key components of the Evaluation Team Report, ETR, key components of the Individualized Education Program, IEP, the continuum of services in Akron Public Schools, and tips for a successful first year. As a special educator, you may already be familiar with the Evaluation Team Report, ETR. After viewing this section, you should gain a more comprehensive understanding of the Evaluation Team Report. An ETR, which is commonly known as the referral process, can be initiated by either the parents or the school to determine whether the child is eligible for special education and/or related services such as speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, etc. Before a student is referred for an evaluation to receive special education services, there must be documented interventions and strategies that have been attempted through IAT, Intervention Assistance Team. Once you begin working, identify the IAT members at your school, as they are a valuable asset to the referral and evaluation process. The ETR is typically a series of 2 meetings, most often led by a school district psychologist. The first meeting is the initial planning meeting. The second meeting is the evaluation team meeting to discuss the evaluation report. The school psychologist will make recommendations within the ETR on how to meet the educational needs of the student and the instructional implications of the recommendations once eligibility has been determined. The student will be reevaluated by the school psychologist once every 3 years. Background knowledge can give you critical information that leads to the student receiving services from you. This information can give you a picture of a student to better understand where he or she has been and how to support their educational needs. This understanding will help you build a rapport with a student so that your instruction has maximum impact. The team summary includes all individual evaluator assessments. It provides a summary of all interventions done prior to the child's referral for an evaluation or done as part of the initial evaluation. For all reevaluations, it provides a summary of interventions routinely provided to the child. For example, reasons for evaluation, summary of observations, medical information, summary of assessment results, description of educational needs, and implications for instruction and progress monitoring. There are 13 different disability categories. A student's disability category does not determine their educational placement. Students that are eligible for special education services will have an IEP. The IEP is an individualized plan for students with disabilities that allow them to access their education and work on skill deficits identified in the ETR. In the Akron Public Schools, all students are considered regular education students first. As a special educator, you may be asked to complete behavior checklists, complete observation forms, or submit academic progress. It is important to keep a list of when your student IEPs are due and coordinate the due date of the evaluation team report with the IEP meeting. A student's IEP is reviewed annually. Required IEP team members include a district representative, principal or office of special education personnel, the general education teacher, the intervention specialist, and a parent or guardian. The critical components of an IEP include IEP timeline, Goals and Objectives, Section 7, Services, Section 11, LRE, Least Restrictive Environment. Let's take a closer look at those components. The cover of the IEP contains the child's information, meeting information, parent-guardian information, other information, and the IEP timelines. Once you receive your caseload, it will be beneficial for you to identify your student IEP due dates and plan accordingly. It is never acceptable to allow the IEP to become overdue. The goals and objectives should be directly related to the educational needs and implications for instruction identified in the ETR and should be standards-based. A well-written IEP goal contains the following 6 elements. Who? Student name. Will do what? Observable behavior describing what the child will do to complete the goal. To what level or degree? Criteria and mastery of the goal. Under what conditions? The conditions that describe the situation, setting, or give material that needs to be in place for the goal to be completed. In what length of time? The time frame in which the goal is completed. How will progress be monitored? This is performance data. Specifically designed instruction is adapting the content, methodology, or delivery of instruction to address the unique needs of the student. Section 7 identifies specifically designed instruction to include service time, location frequency, provider, start and end date, and location. Related services is the developmental, corrective, and other supportive services required to assist a child with a disability to benefit from special education and includes speech-language pathology and audiology services, interpreting services, psychological services, physical and occupational therapy, orientation and mobility services, and medical services, just to name a few. Assistive technology is any device or service that directly assists a child with a disability to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of a child with a disability. Here in the Akron Public Schools, we have a lending library that is available to our special education staff that contains over 100,000 items and resources. Accommodations provide access to the course content but do not alter the amount or complexity of the information that is taught to the child. Accommodations are changes made in the ways materials are presented or in the way children demonstrate learning, as well as setting, timing, and scheduling. Modifications alter the course content that will be taught to the child and the expectations for achievement of grade level indicators. Modifications result in the child learning something that is different from his or her non-disabled peers. Modifications include eliminating expectations for what children at the same grade level are expected to know, do, and understand. Regular education class refers to the educational environments where students without disabilities receive instruction and participate in activities throughout the school day. The general education curriculum may be used in many different settings, including classrooms where only students with disabilities are taught. Anytime a change of placement is considered, a special education coordinator will need to be present. Akron Public Schools offers a full continuum of services for our students. In Akron Public Schools, all students are considered regular education students first. All students receive their core instruction in reading and math from a general content teacher. Some students will still need and receive additional services. ELL, gifted, special education, Title I, and 504 services are designed and intended to support core instruction. Here are some tips to follow that will ensure your first year is a successful one. Keep all IEP information and student information confidential. Make data-based decisions. Chart your assigned caseloads and IEP due dates. Make 3 attempts to schedule IEP meetings and document attempts. Ensure all IEP team members are present for all meetings. Collect information 2 months in advance. Never delay an IEP meeting and hold it after the due date. Hold the meeting if you have 3 documented attempts to schedule. Let's revisit our learning targets. Did you identify these learning targets? Key components of the Evaluation Team Report, ETR. Key components of the Individualized Education Program, IEP. The continuum of services in Akron Public Schools. And tips for a successful first year in Akron Public Schools. We look forward to meeting you and are glad to have you on our team.